Hi, my name is Jackie and welcome to my channel about tea. So if you've seen my tea buying ban video, you'll notice that I have quite the collection of tea, and someone once asked me, how do I choose which tea to drink out of that collection? And probably like most people, I have a tendency to be a seasonal tea drinker. So in the winter and autumn months, I have a tendency to drink hot teas that are filled with spices like cinnamon and ginger and cloves, anything that's really like a warming spice, or teas that have nutty or vanilla flavors. And then in spring and summer, I like to drink teas that are floral, that are fruity, that are vegetal and grassy, like our green teas. But in springtime in Michigan, it can't decide whether or not it wants to be bright, sunny, and warm, or cold and snowy. For example, this week, I woke up twice and there was snow on the ground, and then, you know, yesterday it was 60 degrees and today it's 40 degrees and raining, and I just can't get on track with my tea. So, you know, yesterday, after 2 snowy days, I woke up thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna have a nice cozy cup of the Rooibos Pecan Turtle from Adagio Teas. I brew it and then I sit down to film and I realize it's 60 degrees outside and sunny. So then, of course, I threw open all the doors so that I can let some of that breeze in. And then today, I'm thinking it's going to be sort of comparable to the previous day, yesterday, and it's not. Today, it's overcast and rainy, but the tea that I had brewed up today is a cold brew of DavidsTea frozen raspberry. And I started brewing it yesterday, so this is something that I have let steep overnight. So the tea that I brewed was this frozen raspberry from DavidsTea, and this is just a sample size. And you know what? I've been waiting almost an entire year to taste this. I don't know why. My last tea buying bender was for my birthday back in July 2018. I was sort of like, you know, I justified it in that I turned 30 and you only turn 31, so you better treat yourself. But yeah, really, just any excuse to buy tea, let's be real. But I'm proud of myself. I've been on a tea buying ban for almost 2 months, and I've not broken, so that's awesome. But anyways, I digress. It's just been sitting there for almost a year, and I keep looking at it like, oh, I can't wait to try you. Sometimes I just build up tea in my head, like I have to have it on this specific day, and the conditions have to be just so, or else it's not going to taste as good as it could taste. But anyways, so the ingredients in this are apple, sugar, raisins, hibiscus blossoms, carrot, yogurt pieces, beetroot, raspberry, natural and artificial raspberry, and strawberry cream flavoring. I thought for sure the stars were gonna align and this was gonna be great and perfect for today, but alas, it's rainy and 48 degrees. What can you do? Let's go ahead and brew this. Don't mind the baby toys that are just hanging out over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cold brew this frozen raspberry tea from DavidsTea. And this is what the tea looks like. Lots of big fruity pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and do 3 perfect spoonfuls. I think it's gonna be about 16 ounces of water, maybe a little bit less. I think that's how much my cup holds, so. All right, let's get that scooped. Oh man, look at this sugar crystal. That is so, it's like a diamond. That's awesome. All right, I digress. So 1, 2, and actually 3. There's not much left, so I might just go ahead and toss the rest in there. That's the downside of like cold brewing or making iced tea, is there's so much tea that you have to put in. And this isn't heated, I just needed a vessel to pour the stuff in, so. man. It's already turned pink. That's pretty. I don't know if you can really see it. We'll have to do a better visual. There we go. You can kind of see it. That's super pretty. It's probably the hibiscus and the beetroot. So it'll be really interesting to see how saturated this color gets the longer it stays in the fridge. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the fridge for a couple of hours, and then I'll report back on how it tastes. This is empty now, but I can still smell. Okay, honestly, and I feel like this will get me in trouble with my dad, but this reminds me of college, sophomore year, sitting on the front porch of one of my friend's house on campus, or near campus. It was right off campus. Smoking hookah, smoking raspberry scented, raspberry flavored hookah. So this makes me feel kind of nostalgic. It's just really, it's really juicy smelling, really sweet, like really, really, really ripe fruit, really ripe raspberry. I like it. All right, let's do this. Is this not the most beautiful color tea you've ever seen? Let's see if I can, look at that. Look at that. It just disappears into the bad lighting in this room. It's just so vibrant and pink, like so beautiful. I'm pretty sure it's there's beetroot in this as well as hibiscus. So that's lending to the bold, bright pink color. It smells just sort of like maybe raspberry juice. I don't know if it's like real raspberry. It makes me think of like raspberry suckers or like raspberry jello. Raspberry jello would be a good description of it. That's what it smells like. I bet you this would make a good raspberry jello too. So I started cold brewing this yesterday. I just basically used this entire tin for, I think this is 16 ounces of water, and I let this cold brew overnight. And there's no ingredients in this that I would be concerned about over steeping. So let it brew to your heart's content. All right, let's taste it. So right off the bat, the first thing that I notice is a tangy or a tartness that I think is probably coming from the hibiscus flower. And hibiscus is sort of, goodness! And hibiscus is kind of, no. Hibiscus is kind of hit and miss for me. Goodness gracious, baby bug. Goodness gracious. You just want to be a cameraman? There's nothing that could encourage crawling more than seeing the tripod out. Because of course he likes to come and drag it. But let's get back to this. So, this is going to be all gone by the time I actually get a chance to tell you what it tastes like. So right off the bat, the first thing that I taste is the hibiscus. It's just really tart. And I mean, hibiscus is sort of hit and miss with me. I don't necessarily mind it, and I certainly do appreciate the pink that it, the pink color that it gives the tea. But sometimes it can be kind of overpowering, and I think maybe in this instance, it might be a little bit overpowering to me. I mean, I compare it to the Caribbean Crush that I tried a couple of weeks ago in my What I Drink in a Day tea video, or the tea that I drink in a day video. And I just recall sort of the hibiscus. I sort of recall the hibiscus being a little bit more subdued. So this is pretty tart and in your face. I mean, I taste something that is maybe a little bit reminiscent of raspberry jello. It doesn't really taste like real raspberry to me, but sort of that raspberry jello jigglers. Raspberry jello jigglers. That's what this tastes like. I mean, when was the last time I had raspberry jello jigglers? Probably when I was 4 years old, living in Oregon. I feel like that's the last time anybody's ever made me jello jigglers. And it's not like overly sweet. I mean, sugar is the second ingredient on this list. And I mean, you saw in the scoop that I showed you that there were like these large chunks of sugar just sitting there. Like, they looked like diamonds. They looked like diamonds. But I'm actually pleasantly surprised that this is not overly sweet at all. It definitely does not need any sugar. So, where was I? Oh yeah, so even though there's like these gigantic diamonds of sugar in here, this is not like excessively sweet at all. Like, it's pretty perfectly sweet, at least for my taste. I do have a bit of a sweet tooth, and this is satisfying. So, oh man, it got really dark in here, huh? I don't feel like it's not taking me that long to film this. It's not like nighttime. Stop, son! He's getting so much faster at crawling. Ah! Nowhere is safe. Bear with me here. I've had to do something creative, which is turn my tripod into a selfie stick so that my son does not keep trying to drag it away from me. Pretty much this means that I just need to stop filming and go hang out with him. But let me just finish some thoughts. So, in conclusion, tart and fruity, pleasantly sweet, tastes like a jello jiggler. Would I get this again? I mean, I feel like there are probably other teas from DavidsTea that I would want to try before committing. And also, I think I preferred the Caribbean Crush to this tea, and so I would be more likely to get the Caribbean Crush over the frozen raspberry. Not that that's really like comparing apples to apples, but I'm just thinking I really haven't had a lot of tea from DavidsTea, so that's really what I'm going against. But also, would I turn down a cup of iced frozen raspberry tea at like an outdoor, at like a barbecue? Heck no, because I can definitely see how this would be really refreshing. This is a pretty solid tea. I appreciate it. Anyways, if you haven't tried this, I do recommend this. This is a very refreshing tea. I just wish I was drinking it on a day that wasn't overcast and rainy and kind of chilly, because this is a tea that demands to be consumed during summertime or just whenever it's warm. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. And what are some of your favorite fruity teas to drink in the summertime? And have you tried this tea? It's the frozen raspberry tea from DavidsTea. I'd love to know your thoughts on it as well. Alright, thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye! Hi, I'm behind you, but I'm also in front of you. Oh my gosh!